What's up, everyone? Okay, I'm going to show you how to send less messages but get more calls. And really, there's three ways of doing that. It's through your data, your messaging, and your dialogue. In this one, I'm going to show you exactly how to find the data that's going to influence both the messaging and dialogue. So, a generalized persona looks something like this, right? You're going after a leader of an organization. Maybe it's a CMO or CTO or the CEO of companies with general employee ranges, general funding. Maybe it's I meant to put a million here, but maybe $1 million. Um, uh, Industry and then location. But with a boundless type of persona, and this is why it's so important because it's going to influence everything to get us fewer outbound messages done and get more calls. We want to get very specific on who we go after. For instance, a VP of sales and marketing that's been in their role for 3 to 6 months with a general company of 11 to 20 with no BDRs, but currently they're hiring BDRs, very specific revenue range, age, and then target, right? So, marketing and advertising companies specifically helping CPG and hospitality brands located in the US, right? So, once you have this data, then you can get very, very specific on who you go after. Right. So let's take the general persona, right? Sending emails or LinkedIn messages, phone calls, text, it doesn't really matter. You have to go with assumptions here, right? Now that we know exactly who we're going after, we can get very targeted on the data that we mine. And then in the messaging that we put forward, right, we can bring up webinars, blog posts, LinkedIn, podcasts, maybe news articles they've been in, YouTube. You can look at all these different things that actually customize the outreach, which again, part of the reason we really define that persona well is then we can mean something to them. So we could say something like, "Hey, John, just saw that you guys are raising a new round specifically to capitalize on growing popularity in the meta universe space, right?" Then we can dovetail that into by the way, I help agencies who are hiring BDRs achieve XYZ, open having a conversation. That's so much more meaningful to that person. You're going to achieve 70, 80, 90% open rates with messages like that because your data is so specific because you went ahead and defined it very, very specifically, right? And then the messaging will actually mean something to that person, right? For instance, if John is his VP, he's relatively new in his role, he's here and probably hired to make a huge impact, right? So this is the start of how you achieve, more calls from less outbound. I have more content and more videos around specifically. Okay, once you have this persona built, what then do you do? What's the sequences look like? What conversations do I have to qualify them? And how can I ensure that they actually show up for calls? If this sounds interesting to you, please let me know. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. Use this as the blueprint of your persona identification specifically for the data and messaging so you can spend less time prospecting and more time closing. Have a great day. Talk soon.